Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about introverted thinking. Um, introverted thinking is a primary function for INTPs, and on a day-to-day basis, I can definitely notice that this is the dominant function. So, introverted thinking is always piecing together parts of systems. Um, it's detail oriented, so it's sort of like extrovert thinking's the action, whereas introvert thinking's the reflection of the action. So when you look at the ENTJ personality type, and then you look at the INTP is a shadow of the ENTJ. The ENTJ is the executive, the INTP is a thinker. So the ENTJ is the sort of like the bull at the gates with life. They're like the bulldozer. They're very productive people, whereas INTPs are very reflective people. Introvert thinking's it's more about reading between the lines. It's more about the grey area, whereas TE is more about like black and white logic. However, TI does come to the point quickly. Um, I'd say a TI, like I find with TI, it's like I make a point to someone, and then I'll find that I'll elaborate on it naturally, because I start looking at all the different angles automatically. Um, as an INTP, TI being the first function, the judging function, my first reaction to things is like, oh, like trying to sum it up as quick as I can. Whereas someone with the dominant perceiving function will first take it all in first, whereas an INTP is more likely to judge things quickly. However, getting older, it's not always the case, as extrovert intuition is also very prominent, and is a perceiving function towards environment. So extrovert intuition takes in things objectively and then is filtered by introvert thinking. Even though introvert thinking comes first, it's just because extrovert intuition is an extrovert function. It's the function that's used to take in the environment. So the thing is, INTPs are so in their heads because extrovert thinking, unlike extrovert sensing, is focused on everything. It wants to absorb all angles of all topics. It's always expanding. And introvert thinking is a serious internal mental model of trying to come to a logical framework. So extrovert intuition is bringing in all this abstract data, and introvert thinking is trying to put it into a model, like a very consistent model. Um, so introvert thinking is looking to an introvert thinker is always trying to improve in life through experiences and then reflection and piecing things together to see where they fit. So I can easily spend a lot of time at home just on the surfing the net, thinking about various topics, learning about new topics, different branches of philosophy or anything that comes of interest, and I'll be I always find I'm always changing my philosophy, like my view on life, it's a TINE habit for INTPs to always be seeking a new way of thinking about life. Um, um, I've found Buddhism is the seems to be most coherent with introverted thinking. I think Buddhism is very introverted thinking, very TI. So introverted thinking, its efficiency, it minimizes effort. When you think of extrovert thinking, I think military. Um, Introverted thinking is more like technician or something, or INTP is philosopher, ISTP is technician because of the second function. Um, so introvert thinking, there's a thing called introvert thinking and introvert sensing loop. So introvert sensing is focused on past details and Introvert sensing presents introvert thinking with past experiences and allows introvert thinking to bring this into the play as a part of the internal logical system. So INTPs not only take in lots of different perspectives through NE, but also use introverted sensing as in the tertiary function to find what really sticks in the system. So INTPs are generally more rigid than ENTPs because of the tertiary introvert sensing, which supports the dominant introvert thinking. ENTPs are more scattered than INTPs because they suppress introverted sensing. INTPs can generally be taken more seriously as intellectuals than ENTPs. I see NTJs as the true intellectuals, however, I do see INTPs as having potential to be. Introverted thinking and introverted sensing together create a very intense INTP mind where they're constantly reflecting on experiences to come to logical conclusions. Introverted thinking and introverted sensing, along with extrovert intuition, creates an INTP preference to be reflecting on the past, pondering the future possibilities through NE, and usually spending a lot of time analysing the present situation. Because introverted sensing is like the present and the past, it's like 50-50. So being in the here and now is not really natural for INTPs. So yeah, this video is mainly about introverted thinking. I thought I'd bring in a bit of stuff about the second and third functions as well. Extrovert feeling is the repressed function. Each function develops over time. So extrovert feeling creates an axis between introvert thinking and extrovert feeling, where INTPs are driven to understand humans, to understand body language, motivations, group dynamics. Like INTPs aren't part of the pack, but like to observe the pack and put it together and understand the bottom line of people and group behavior. So psychology is generally a big interest. Philosophy. It's funny how the inferior function has a lot to do with the interests, because I do have a lot of interest in psychology, philosophy. Science vaguely grabs me. It's more about like English and philosophy and that sort of thing. That's the main interest. I find as an INTP I have a lot of different interests, so it's kind of hard just to say one thing. But yeah, introvert thinking is most dominant in the earlier years, like from birth till late teens. Then extrovert intuition comes out a lot through the 20s, then introvert sensing, then finally extrovert feeling. I think it's interesting that the functions develop over time. You can see in older INTPs that they're more balanced than younger ones. Yeah. So thank you for listening.